because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
All right.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What is up, everybody?
We're back up in there like swimwear, man. And
There
this is
you go.
episode 3 of the Euro Crypt multi-streaming with Dead Pit. And JT's a special guest. JT's
Thank
Horror
you guys
Discussion.
for the invite. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you on, man. We're going to be talking about some French horror. We're getting a little freaky with the French, man.
Absolutely. So real fucking out there with the French.
It
Like
really is,
usual. You know, when you think of French extremity horror, the first 4 movies I think that pop to most people's minds are Martyrs, Inside, High Tension, and Frontiers. I would say probably the 4 from the 2000s.
Right.
Like the big 4 of the French extremity movement.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't get I don't think
Which
it's
is
held in high esteem as the others, because High Tension is just a complete masterpiece.
which is, it's kind of crazy to me, because if you think about it, I would think Possession would have to be like the first one, like as far as French extremity,
Oh, Possession is a masterpiece. Absolutely.
But I mean, I know it's Polish, it's German, it's French, it's
it's all co-production all over the place.
Yeah.
Right, I think you've got to put an Irreversible in there as well.
Irreversible is a masterpiece.
Irreversible for sure,
man.
Yeah,
Enter the Void is also a masterpiece. That's my favorite Gaspar Noé film.
Yeah,
I've got that. I've never seen it.
Brutal. Yeah, you got to check out Enter the Void. It's a tripped out movie, man. Neon colors all over the place, and plays into the Book of the Dead and stuff like that. Like
you see,
really cool stuff.
Somebody's spirit, basically after they died, hovering
like a
around,
first person.
Shit. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. And it's a long one too. It's like close to 3 hours, but it's entertaining and at least visually stunning throughout all of it.
Let me catch a chat right quick. See who's in here. We got like 20 people in here. Nice. See, Red, he says, you like the Euro witchcraft movie Vi from 1967? And yes, I do. I love that fucking movie. I've not seen it.
I've not seen that one either.
It's in the intro. I got clips of it in the intro. Matter of fact, I love that movie. It's I think a lot of other films took from it too. I would say maybe Evil Dead. Maybe Sam Raimi was inspired.
One Black Sunday as well. Black Sunday.
Black Sunday came before though.
Black Sunday I consider with Psycho and Peeping Tom, which you guys just talked about last episode, right? Was it Peeping Tom was one of them?
Yeah.
But the story was the story is a Russian story that inspired Baba. He was really inspired by it.
Right, that's what I'm thinking of then. Yeah.
You got JT in here. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? What's up, JT?
Joseph, the horror guy. What's up, JT? What's happening?
How you doing, Joe?
Mayor says time to enter the crypt. Yeah, the crypt's open, man. And
what's up, the mayor?
There ain't no going back. So, Joseph, the horror guy, smash that like button. Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Cheers, man.
Got a multi-stream dream going on here, so that's cool. Danny Dundada. I'm kind of wired for sound, y'all. I got a double espresso with a black silk Folgers coffee over here.
Man, it's like 4 a.m. Yeah, I think I need one of them.
What's up, fellas? Danny Dundada.
What's up, man?
Yeah, Danny's always supporting, man. He's always asking input on different Italian horror and stuff, man. He's loving it. So, 1980s Betamax. Hey, y'all. What's happening? Also, smash the like button. Appreciate you, man. Got Live Style Rewind. Hey, now.
Yeah, Liv.
How's it going?
How you doing, Liv?
Let's see. My birthday is tomorrow. Awesome, dude. A lot of birthdays going on.
Joe's birthday is tomorrow. Yeah, September's got a lot of birthdays in our community.
My birthday was on the 16th. I think yours was yesterday.
Yours was. Mine was yesterday. Right. There's like 5 others too, like throughout this whole month.
Let's see. So I want to let y'all know. Okay.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, man.
No, it's only an
hour. You guys seen
so
Incident in a Ghostland? Curious on y'all's thoughts.
That's the director of Martyrs, other film, right? Another film of his. I haven't seen it, but I heard not too great things about it.
Ooh,
like from
you?
from a
Right.
friend of mine who is big on. I think it's like Pascal Logia. Is that his name? The
Yeah,
director. I think
yeah.
it's Pascal something. Yeah.
Okay.
A big fan of his as a director, and that was like his letdown film by him. I haven't seen it
Yeah, I
though.
had to
I keep
complete.
seeing it browsing and want to throw it on one of these days. So maybe I'll throw it on one of these
I
days.
think it's one of the better like newer. Like when I say newer, it's a few years ago now, but I think it's one of the better slashers of that era. You know.
I gotta check it out.
But yeah, I'm surprised that that I thought that generally got like a good response, but it's definitely worth watching. Slasher
Yeah, I
fan.
gotta definitely throw it on because, like I said, there's a handful of films that I haven't seen or haven't seen in forever. That when you're browsing Tubi, you're browsing Amazon or whatever streaming service, I'm looking around and I'm like, I keep seeing this name, I keep seeing this cover, and it keeps like pulling me a bit, and then I skip past it. So one of these days, that'll be one of those ones that gets thrown on.
I think
Okay.
you'll like it. Yeah.
Joseph says, just rewatched Megan last night. Great horror movie. Arnie Donald. Wait, is that Amy Donald?
Amy, yeah,
Amy Donald and as Killer Robot did great. Awesome.
Yeah, I just saw an Instagram post today that they announced Megan 2 it's 2.0, the sequel to it. Megan 2.0 is finished filming. So
she's talking about the Ghostland film. Was it Incident in Ghostland? I like it quite a bit, but kind of didn't like it the first time. Yeah, it's funny how films do that. Sometimes
absolutely
takes me sometimes 3 watches. If it's a strong enough film and I keep thinking about it, I'm gonna revisit. So
I was like that with one of the films tonight. But didn't you interview her, JT? You interviewed that girl, didn't you?
Amy Donald, the girl from Megan. Yeah, I had her on. What year it came out? Last year, early last year when it came out.
Yeah, a year or two ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Check that out, man.
she was great. I don't know if she's coming back for the second one because I know they didn't announce her. Like back then, they announced the sequel and they announced Allison Williams. They announced McGraw, who plays Katie, the girl, and then they didn't announce Amy, who played Megan. So I don't know if they were expecting her to grow or like if she had a growth spurt or something like that because she was only 11 or 12 when they filmed it. Who knows?
Hey, I don't know. I was hearing some things though, like there was like somebody, I'm not gonna name names or anything. They're talking about like taking good hard looks in the mirror and shit or something. So I was just like, I was just gonna, put this out there for them,
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
So
that's funny.
I just had to put it out there. But
anyway, I thought he
was
gonna put some bullying meme up there or something, but
no. People who know will know. So that's all that matters. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Fascination. We're starting with from '79.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this masterpiece of a film here, Fascination, man.
It was fascinating. I mean, that's one decent title.
I mean, everybody's fascinated in the film. That's one thing about it. Here's the redemption. I mean, the indicator. My bad. That was just the redemption. I'll tell you, man, I'm amped, dude, on this damn coffee, bro. This is a killer release, though. Indicator kicks ass with these releases.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show this off.
That looks
quick.
nice.
Bridget LaHaye, man, big fan of her.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Check that out.
Just everyone, all the naked chicks.
But
yeah, nice.
But yeah, man, it's let me get into it. My bad. Got my hands full. Getting a little jitter, man. Now
I drink so much coffee. I don't.
That damn double espresso kicked my ass. Let's see. So Fascination, 1979. A thief named Mark runs off with a bag of gold from other thieves and finds refuge in an isolated chateau. He finds 2 beautiful chambermaids who are not frightened by him at all. They act like they are at first and shit. And then they laugh and taunt him, and he's just like, what the fuck and all this shit. Like, but they let him know pretty much he's powerless, like whatever he does and shit. And then there's like this little love triangle going on. One of them's trying to, I don't know if it's a love triangle. She's playing games with him, Bridget LaHaye's character. And the other one gets super jealous, and I don't know, man. It's a crazy ass flick though. But what's y'all's first impressions of this one? there's a lot of visuals going on. There's not much of a plot to it, but
Absolutely.
basically, like I said, the thief stole some money. He's getting away from some other thieves he screwed over, and yeah, these two chicks, man, super hot chicks.
You want to go for it, JT? Give your thoughts.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's this. I'm happy we're starting with this one because this is the one that worked the least for me. This is also the only one that I haven't seen before.
Right.
Now, this is a very, I would say, even avant-garde-ish, very artsy, erotic film.
Yeah.
So all the lesbian scenes, the naked chicks, and all they're gorgeous. The actresses in this movie, all that's fine. There was some other cool thing like the scythe scene when she gets the scythe and she kills the two guys. That's cool.
Pretty iconic.
There were a few other. Yeah, and I've noticed a lot of the artworks have her with the scythe.
Right.
And it makes sense because it was some of the best scenes in the movie. It was too slow for me. It was meandering here and there for me. It definitely has a unique atmosphere and a unique look to it. The cinematography and everything. The score was pretty good too.
And that castle, man, that's
the setting adds to it. It adds that little gothic flavor to it.
Right.
I don't know. I just couldn't get into it fully. This one.
Okay. What do you think, Darren? What do you think?
Pretty much, echoing what JT says there. I did like, it's quite creepy. The atmosphere is great. The whole setting, 1905, I think you said it was. All the costume design, perfect, But there's just not enough of a story there, I was kind of losing a little bit of interest, and then the lesbian scene come on, and it kind of like, I kind of opened my eyes up a little bit more. And Bridget LaHaye, what can you say? Every single actress in this is, really hot for the time. But I just think it's kind of a mix between softcore porn and horror. And I'd have liked it to have gone either way and just concentrated on one thing. But again, it's slow. It's hard to kind of get
It is
into.
very slow, but it's like it's mood and atmosphere and visuals. And
and the story's kind of spoon-fed to you as well from the opening scene where they're drinking ox blood. I don't want to give too much
the drinking
away.
ox blood. And that's another thing I need to touch on. This is like basically a group. Like, we don't know. I'm not going to spoil the film because anybody hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
But you see some weird shit at the very beginning. It takes like at the first scene, they're in like an abattoir, like a slaughterhouse. And you see like this woman just in white in the middle of this fucking blood mess everywhere. It's like
it is a cool opening shot. It is a great opening shot.
And they're drinking blood and shit, and that shit with the super close up, the chick's putting blood all over her lips and shit. I don't know, man. I dig it, man. I dig John Rowland, but I know he's not for everybody. This might not be the one, but if you have you seen Grapes of Death?
I would definitely like to check out more of his films.
Okay. Have you seen Grapes of Death, JT?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Check that one. Try that one.
Yeah, I think you'd probably like that one more.
I did like that one. So, Dirk, would you put this one over Grapes of Death then?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
that makes sense.
It's a very interesting movie, that first watch of it. It's avant-garde in a way that I wouldn't be running back to watch again versus, say, Jodorowsky's like Santa Sangre, which I think is a masterpiece. And that's also very avant-garde and out there, and a lot of just weird shit happening for almost the sake of just being weird. But that's like an avant-garde-ish type movie I can watch anytime versus this kind of film where it just didn't.
It's a very slow pace. Yeah, it's very slow paced. It's deliberately slow paced, I believe.
Yeah.
Like,
and even for a slow burn movie, which I hate that term, slow burn, but it's a 70s film, which is pretty much paced like most 70s horror films are back then.
But the
atmosphere is good throughout.
Yeah, he based his story off of. There's a book called "Nightmares of an Ether Drinker."
Great.
So like
that's such a great title.
And the author's name is Jean Lorraine. It's a pseudonym for Paul Alexander. He's like from think he's from the 1800s though, and so he based it off of that. He just changed a few things as far as a secret society. There's a secret society in this film. It's an homage to vampire films in a way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I would say this is more realistic than like a vampire film. If vampirism was real, this would be
it's
like,
kind of got a more
Yeah.
realistic element to it. I do
Right.
think
It's not
that-
as fantastical as the idea of vampires
no bats,
usually are. And
no turning into bats and shit. And
Yeah, exactly. If
But
I
it's
was here,
chain of command.
That.
You notice the chain of command later, like throughout the society of women.
yeah,
It's the high society, isn't it? And
Right.
it's the poor man. It's definitely that story. I know it gets told a lot.
Yeah.
That's definitely what he was trying to get to.
And it kind of flips a couple things on its head, though. It does the men aren't in control in this film, in a way,
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy. But
I thought the guy who plays, trying to think of his name there, Mark. I thought he did a good job, the blonde guy.
yeah,
yeah.
the
His
lead.
I've never
the
seen him before.
performances were all pretty good. I mean, very good at some points. Even if there is a decent amount of cheese to some of the performances, that worked fine for me. The acting, I had no complaints really.
Right. Okay.
I was going to say then as well, Roland had a constant battle with the producers as well because they wanted to pretty much up the nudity and all that, and then he wanted to, rein it back a little bit. But it was shot in 2 weeks, which don't surprise me.
No,
Looking at it,
makes
It
sense.
didn't have a great distribution either. It did well at film festival, but it didn't. It wasn't backed, So
I was reading as well, which is kind of sad. When he died in 2010, and now he's kind of got a bit of a buzz now online. People, it's the same with the Fulci thing. When Fulci died, all these people start coming out. But apparently he died in 2010, and nothing was wrote about him, or he wasn't really known that well, even back 14 years ago, which was quite sad. Because even though it's not my cup of tea, I can still see there's stuff in there that does appeal to me,
definitely.
And that's
the visuals and
for me, this movie, I'm not watching it for if I'm watching a John Roland film, I'm not watching it for plot and story. I'm watching it for kind of in a way like we watch Argento films and stuff.
I was just gonna say Fulci too, like a lot of
Fulci
films.
and all the it's for visuals and atmosphere. Really, but yeah, man. So I guess we'll get to the rating, man. Well, let me catch the chat right before we rate it. Let me catch got Liv says let's see. Oh, that's just where I paused. I read that comment already. Okay, what's happening? Scratch Burno, what's happening, man?
What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Joseph's the horror guy. That's really funny. Hey guys and dolls, what's happening, Russell?
What's up,
Hey,
Russell?
Russ.
Yeah, man. Rotten Pumpkin. What's the Dead Pit drama with Steve? He's been mysteriously absent for a while.
What's up, Pumpkin?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Ask Steve, dude.
I think Steve's deleted all his association with Dead Pit. That's all I know, really.
I'll just say talk to Steve. But
yeah.
What's up, mate? Yeah, man. Stuart Smalley is good enough. Yeah, he surely is, man. Let's see. Honestly, don't know, but still found that little mirror clip delightful. Okay, appreciate it. And I just had to let everybody know, you are good enough. Everybody's good enough.
Oh, absolutely.
So
very positive message.
Yeah. So let's see, Russ. Oh yeah, we said that. I know a lot of people talking here. All right, y'all.
Okay, Chris
Everybody gets excited about lesbians.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's
song.
see.
Big song.
Hey, JT, Dirk and Darren, you guys rock. Appreciate you, man.
Cheers, man.
What's up, Russ?
You rock, Russell. Let's see.
Absolutely. Russ is awesome.
He says, love to watch Lesbos. Hell yeah. Let's see. I just subscribed. Awesome.
Nice, thanks.
Let's see. I'm on my way to 13K. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
awesome.
Hell yeah. Let's see. Try not to bore everybody. Chris C in here, like David Warbeck, great actor, but sad story on his passing.
What's up,
Yeah.
What's up,
Chris?
Chris? How you doing,
Sadly,
brother?
man. Thanks, friends. There are definitely good, bad days, but all the great people in the community on here make it all worth it. Awesome.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause the chat for a second, y'all. We got. Well, I'm almost out of today, and never mind. All right, I'm trying to weed through the conversations between people. Sorry. All right.
Probably got more comments than we usually get anyway.
Yeah, love possession, but not for everyone. Yeah, definitely not. And neither is fascination. This is not
or Frontiers.
For everyone.
Right.
All three of these.
Everyone.
All three of these films aren't for everybody.
Yeah.
This next one though is so divisive.
Oh, this is so up there.
Yeah.
I hope we covered it good enough. I mean, there ain't a whole lot to it without spoiling the film.
Yeah,
it's hard to write. Like I said,
basically
correct. There's no plot really.
It's like you got to see it, and I think it's
you got to experience.
And I don't even think half people are gonna love it, half people are gonna hate it. I think it's gonna be like 30% of people are gonna love it, and then
I can see
70% probably won't.
Definitely give it a chance, though. Everybody listening, even if me and Darren didn't care for it that much, definitely it's worth at least watching it once and experiencing the film once.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Wild Guy says, "Hey, Dirk,
what's up, Johnny?
JT, Rollin is great for atmosphere, colors, and Les.
There you go, the big three.
Only French Extreme I have seen is High Tension. Oh shit, yeah, man, there's a ton.
Man, yeah, there's 5 or 6 amazing films.
Mayor says I still need to delve more into Rollin's filmography. I've only seen The Living Dead Girl. Oh man, that's a good one. It's a damn good one. If that's the only one you've seen, that's a damn good one. Let's see. Appreciate you 3 dudes talking about cool movies. Appreciate you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, Chris C. is the last comment. I'm going to pause the chat. Let's see. I love films like Possession. It's like a fever dream. Lynch and Cronenberg hit me differently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's a good description of it.
I mean, these next 2 films, like, there's loads you can talk about with these.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. It kind of blew me away. I don't want to give too much away, but I'll let Dirk take the lead on this one because this is like one of his, I know JT as well is one of your favorites, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not my favorite 40 films, but if I were to narrow it down to horror films or like best horror films, this would definitely be in the top 40 list.
Okay, we got to rate Fascination though. I know I didn't we didn't go too deep into Fascination, but I don't think I can without, like I said, if you like vampire type atmosphere, no straight spoon-fed story, I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of ain't. It's like there's some ambiguous shit in there too.
It's hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it, like you said.
But what do y'all rate it? What do you rate it, JT?
I don't really give ratings for movies, like numbers, but I'll just again, basically, great atmosphere, good directing, good acting, lots and lots of nudity, which is great, but not that I'm complaining about the nudity, but it does add and pad the runtime a decent amount in this movie, and there's other parts of it that, like I said, meander a bit here and there, but definitely check it out for anyone who hasn't seen it, because it's definitely an interesting take on the vampire idea in a way, but doing it differently. So it's definitely got some stuff in there that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I'd say it's a 4 out of 10 at best.
Okay.
And I think that's me being generous as well.
A 4 out of 10? Okay.
Yeah, I did go back, obviously, watch it twice because I usually take notes on the second time.
Right.
And it just stayed the same, really, from what I first thought.
Right.
Just not my thing. Just not my cup of tea, basically.
Okay. Well, it is my bottle of Jack, so I give it a 7 out of 10. So
nice.
Okay.
So, I don't know, man. A lot of this, I just, I'm a mark for that kind of shit. So,
oh, that's good, man.
The
But
run
anyway.
time's only like 80 odd minutes as well. So
It's not a big
rather-
run time. It's definitely slow as hell, but I dig it, man. But not everything's gonna hit for everybody the same, you know.
right.
But yeah, man. I guess we'll get into. Let me catch up with the comments before we get into possession right quick.
Yeah, we got a few other people
Yeah.
hopped in.
Let's see. Joseph the Hard Guy. My sister want me to watch the original, The Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, I'd say watch it if you've never seen it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely watch that. Let's see. I've gotten way into gothic horror as of late. I love this shit. If it's vamp, I am in. Cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Chris likes all the Hammer stuff as well. Big.
Yeah, I could see Chris enjoying this a little more than I did.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get into 1981's Possession by Andrew Zalowski, and man, this is a film that you want to like. Say you want to say you got divorced from your wife, and you want to like rekindle your marriage. You want to get married again. Let's show this to her. You know, y'all make it a date night. You know? Let's try to make this thing work again.
Dude, I say all the time, this is one of the best horror films, or maybe films ever made, depicting relationship and a relationship falling into absolute hell. In every way imaginable. I mean, even though it has fantastical elements, which we'll get into, just the arguing and the performances by Isabella Johnny and Sam Neill are
man.
unbelievable in this film. Like every argument between them feels organic. Everything, they just put their A game into this film, and it shows. Like 100% watching this every single time.
And I've seen this film probably 10 times at least. And
probably around there for me. Yeah.
Every time I see it, I see different shit in different places, and I'm just like, "What'd she just say?" Like,
very
what
layered.
Did you just say? Like,
very layered.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Dirk actually makes out of some of the plot points and that. But this was a first time watch for me. I absolutely loved it. I'll be honest with you. The first time I saw it, I had to let it sit with me overnight.
Yeah,
and I was kind of thinking,
that's the type of movie.
How do I feel about this? Like, and then I don't know what happened overnight, but I just kept thinking about it. Put it on that second time, and I think, like JT said earlier, it's a masterpiece. I can kind of relate as well because I don't want to get into personal stories on here, but I went through something quite similar back in 2000, the year 2000. I had like a four-year-old boy, and I had a really bad breakup. The missus finished with me and all that. So I can really relate to all this. It's just so unique as a horror film. There's nothing ever been remotely like this, film.
No, this is definitely psychological horror, abstract fucking drama.
It reminds me of Repulsion in a way from Polanski,
right?
Just in the descent into madness. Except you have Sam Neill also. Like it's not just a woman descending into craziness. You got the two of them descending into their own craziness.
Yeah, her madness is like creating madness in him, and it's like madness and reality is blurred together, right?
And
like,
just his performance and the way that his reactions, he throws the chairs in that one scene when they're fighting in the restaurant, they capture all of that perfectly. And I think most of us that have been in at least a relationship and it ended can relate to at least some of the stuff in this movie, and that's what I think makes it so effective.
Zalowski, he's going through a horrible divorce too when he was writing this, and like, man, I think the cinematographer is the guy that got with his wife or some shit. I can't remember. Like,
I know he wrote it about the divorce. I didn't know that. That's funny if that's true.
But yeah, man, it's pretty wild shit, dude. Like,
there's lots going on in this film. Because you've got the whole settings in Berlin.
It's in West Berlin.
You had East and West.
It's already, and in 1981, so I guess this was shot in 80, 79, 80.
Yeah.
So in West Berlin, in that time, they had the wall up.
Yeah.
So Berlin was divided. So it's a city divided already. So that's the perfect setting for. That's why he chose the setting.
The whole, like when he films the scenes in Berlin as well, it just looks cold. It looks bleak.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
The
captures
color
that
usage is
completely
great.
perfect.
The grays, the gray throughout all of it. It kind of reminds me of like the Suspiria remake from 2018. And luckily, it's also in Berlin. But that gray, all the gray to it, except for when it starts getting out there and we see weird ass shit. That's when it brings some more color into it.
Have y'all seen the U.S.
movie?
Have you seen the U.S. cut of this film?
I'm not sure. I just watched the longest version.
Okay, the U.S. cut's like 40 minutes was cut, and
Really?
they hyped it up and they added score to certain scenes. They made it sound more like The Omen and shit. And like the scene,
I'd be interested to check it out just to check it out.
Right, but 40 minutes cut, man. You're doing yourself a disservice. Yeah, you got to check the director's cut out.
Absolutely.
It's like
but like you say, with the cast is amazing. I think Isabella Adjani, she was quite a big name at the time.
Yeah.
And she was so traumatized in the one scene, because we'll talk a little bit later on probably, but there's one scene with the whole miscarriage.
Oh, you want to see that right quick? I got a clip of that, by the way.
Go for it.
I'll go ahead and show it.
Her performance is unreal.
I kind of had to edit it because I can't show the whole scene, right?
Yeah.
But I went ahead and edited it. It's about less than a minute. So here we go.
Yeah. Man, her performance is unreal in that. And when that moment, when it comes out, the way she plays that on her face and the reaction, the scream that oh shit, something just came out of her right in that moment. Unbelievable work. Like unreal acting.
I think she described it as emotional pornography, and that scene, after the film was done, because I think they shot that scene fairly late as well, as it is in the film, that she actually took an attempt to take her own life. It's been documented. People say they're not sure 100% if it's accurate, but they think it was due to this film, basically.
It's the emotional.
Sam Neill said that it was hell going through filming this movie. Sam Neill said in an interview that they're surprised that they made it through filming this. That's
what Zalowski was trying to capture. He because I know a lot of people like with this film. I think you'll either love it or hate it. I think
there's no in between with this.
I don't think there is.
but
going into like
the way he was. What Zalowski said though is he was trying to show emotion. Through a lot. Through everything you're seeing, instead of putting it in words, he was showing like raw emotion of shit that he was feeling going through his divorce and shit. He was putting it into the screen and the script and it's like, man, there's a lot of metaphors in here. So there's some things I don't think you're supposed to take literal, like when you see it,
Yeah.
I think it's like a transformation kind of thing happening with the characters.
It's a 2-hour film, and it don't feel like half of that.
It doesn't.
Really.
Yeah, it goes by quick.
It's a very fast-paced movie for the most part.
So just diving into a little bit with the story. So you've got this guy. Is he like a spy? I think.
Yeah, he's like an intelligence officer.
Yeah. And he basically comes off this spying mission or what have you. And he finds out that his wife wants to leave him. They got a very young boy. And then he kind of like works out then that Heinrich, has been sending her kind of postcards. And
because at first he asked her, is it somebody else? And she's like, no, there's nobody else.
They always say no,
He has to dig through her shit and finds that little postcard from Heinrich.
Yeah.
And Heinrich is a guy that she's been fucking around on him with. that, everything he's not is in this other guy. And,
right. And he actually said there was the other guy in their marriage, his real life marriage was like Heinrich. He was another Heinrich, he completely based that on him as well. But this guy comes into it and he beats Mark up. I know. I was going to say,
but he's not really, Mark's the one that's aggressive.
Yeah, he's just. I love how he picks him up after he knocks him down, like headbutts him or hits him. He picks him up. He's trying to hold his head back and stuff, and Mark's still fighting against him.
Like, everything you
both sides.
Yeah, everything you don't want to hear too. Right?
Yeah,
he's asking her all these questions. And she's just like, yes, he's better in bed. And like
things,
things
we've all asked, but we don't want the answers to. But for some reason, we twistedly do.
Yeah.
They capture that perfectly also in this movie.
Yeah, man.
There's something about Germans as well, which we'll come on to in the last film. Like, they kind of scare me. I don't know why.
Right?
Big Nazi thing and all that. But that Henrik, he's just as good as the main two actors in this.
Oh,
he completely nails it, and he turns up, doesn't he, at Mark's place? Is he like stoned or is he drunk or something? But he's just like
he's fucked up on something. Yeah, in that bathroom scene. Like
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
You talking about Heinrich?
When he kills him, Heinrich.
Yeah, Heinrich is he's always on something though. Like he's all into enlightenment and shit.
Yeah, like new age type shit.
Yeah.
And he's he's the one that's forcing, Ajani's character to be into God, because he's kind of letting, like, subliminally.
He's opening her up. Like without putting any kind of constraints on her. Like Mark, she feels trapped with Mark or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right.
With this guy, he's like, I just let you do what you want and all this shit,
and he lives with his mother as well, which is quite strange.
Right.
And I think he's got like a wife and another
and then he asks, Mark says, like, your mother lives here? Is she here when you're fucking Anna?
He's like, well, of course.
Again, the way he responds is great. We just go, of course. Like, there's nothing wrong with that or anything.
Yeah.
Like, he just says, yeah, of course. Like, where else will we fuck?
If you look at Mark, though, he's kind of fucked up too, though, man. Because because he's like, he could just stay gone forever, and he leaves his wife and kid, and then when he gets back, like, he's not really worried about his son until, he realizes she's leaving his ass. But it takes him a while to be selfish as fuck.
He kind of turns the tables. He turns the tables at one point where he's like not even bothered. He says to her, like, you've just become ugly to me.
Yeah, you're vulgar.
I don't know if it's reverse psychology or what have you, but
he was still trying to get her back, I think.
Yeah.
There's a very interesting side story on the making of this movie that ties into a slasher film from the year after this, from '82, with Joe Spinell, Fanatic, or the last horror. Last horror film that they guerrilla shot the last horror film in '81 at the Cannes Film Festival. This movie was being played at the Cannes Film Festival in '81, and Ajani actually was the first actress to win the award for Best Actress in a Horror Film at the Cannes Film Festival. And if you've seen Fanatic, then you know that Janet Bates, the actress Joe Spinell's character, is stalking. She wins the first ever actress, for a horror film, and they were filming it there while Johnny won it for this movie, which I think is very, very interesting.
Yeah, she was actually born in Cannes as well, Johnny.
Was she? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. I thought when I was looking it up, but you've got it. Like, I don't know how far you want to go in spoiling this, because I don't think unless we don't want to mention you can't really spoil it up until the ending.
Yeah, I know.
But you've got the whole private investigator as well. All that stuff is great, man.
Did y'all see what I asked Darren, like, I was talking to Darren. Sorry, Darren, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine, man. Go on.
Remember I was asking you, I was like, when you watch Possession, I wanted to see if you could see where Clive Barker might have seen something from this film that inspired Hellraiser.
I could see that. I could see
I didn't. I'm not a big Hellraiser guy anyway. I do like.
I'm not either.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, the first Hellraiser. I'm just saying, like, there's blatantly something obvious, but of course, it's nothing like this movie. But there's one thing in the movie that's similar,
Right, and like I say, with the private detective, and you've got him, and he goes to this, apartment where she's keeping herself in this derelict apartment.
Right.
All that stuff is so creepy, man.
Oh yeah, some of the
Yeah,
shots,
'cause
some of the
you see
stuff
the
later, that second
you-
act, the second
Yeah.
act, when
you
it
see
really
that
starts going.
apartment's
Yeah, go
all
ahead, sorry.
decrepit and shit, and then their apartment is all modern, right?
Yeah.
Like, so she's like hiding this dark secret.
hmm
That's how I put it. She's hiding this dark secret at this decrepit ass apartment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got
Yeah.
the two private detectives as well. They're both lovers, which is kind of strange as well. They're both gay in a relationship.
Yeah,
And the
that's
one
something
goes
you
to
didn't
check
see
on the
often
other. Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
The director actually said, like, joking aside, he used to say about this film, he used to say, this is where you see a woman fucking an octopus, or my wife fucking an octopus, something like that along those lines.
Right.
But and again, I don't think that's giving too much away, because there's,
No.
I was
No,
going to
it's
ask a few questions, like, what do you make of this, like, both of you, like, in terms of,
I think it's
it's
There's-
obviously about the Berlin, it's obviously about
is.
his relationship with his wife, but it's about the Berlin Wall as well.
It's also about East and West Berlin. And
Yeah, like
divide.
with the ending, not to spoil anything ending, but you hear stuff in the ending of the movie.
But it's also a deeper meaning with him as his personal life. He was kicked out of Poland too. Like, so there's a little bit of that.
I've completely just twigged now what you mean about the Hellraiser bit with the ending. I just gathered what you mean there. But the whole ending as well is really strange.
It is.
I don't think anyone got. Has anyone got like a definitive answer?
No, that's the thing. There's a great debate.
Doppelgangers are definitely a theme in this movie, and
it's a great debate, right?
Yeah,
between fans of the film. Like, I've heard so many theories on this shit, but one of my takes would be like, so Mark, the doppelgangers of Mark and Anna,
right,
are the way that Mark and Anna would love them to be, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's not. But you see what happens. I'm not going to ruin the movie, but you see what happens to them. But then I mean, we're kind of spoiling it a little bit with doppelganger shit, but
I mean, like, we got to say as well, they both play dual roles, which
but there's
superb.
some very subtle things that are said, like if you blink, you'll miss it, kind of thing. Like,
absolutely.
Where Anna says, "My faith didn't allow me to wait for chance, and chance didn't give me enough faith. Goodness is only a reflection upon evil." And then she's talking about two sisters of faith and chance, right?
Yeah.
So she's one of the sisters, and the other is the other sister. I don't know. There's so many ways to look at this shit, though.
I know. And
what about the subway scene? Like, do you think, can you read anything into that as well? I know obviously it's like an abortion kind of thing, or not abortion, but a miscarriage.
Is it though? Because look,
it could be cleansing herself, shedding her skin to turn into a new, new version of herself, for lack of a better term.
But right after that happens, right after that scene happens, right, you see her, she's talking to Mark. Like, she just told him what happened.
Yeah, she relays that story to him.
Right? Yeah. So what if she birthed something right then? Like, I looked at it that way this time around. I was like, because I never looked at it this way. What if she had just, like, because we didn't see the end of the scene, but what if she just gave birth to something else? And I kind of think it's like an inner evil, because you hear her talking about how much of a piece of shit she is, how immoral she is, and all this shit too. But you get what I'm saying? Like, that one thing we keep talking about, I think it's like metaphorically speaking. Yeah.
So is that creature just in her head?
I think that's her.
Yeah?
That's
evil.
one interpretation, I would say, but I don't know which way I lean towards it. I mean, you can take this movie as, and that's another thing about this movie.
That's what's so great about it.
And what's interesting about it too, it's kind of like Takashi Miike's Audition, just in the way that the first act of this movie feels like a different genre. It doesn't feel like a horror. It feels just like a relationship drama. And then the second act, it just turns into something completely different. just like Audition does. So I always draw the little parallel between the two of them.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's one that is highly rewatchable. I know I watch it at least once a year. At least once a year, I'm watching this film.
You find new stuff every single watch.
And there's something recently I just found that I didn't see before. The guy with the pink socks, right? I've never seen that shit before. I was like, "What's up with the pink socks?" Because then you watch it at the very beginning, and they mention a guy with pink socks, and he's sitting at the fucking table with him.
Yeah,
the guy with the pink socks is sitting at the table with them motherfuckers.
That's why I was
throwing people off right now. People in the chat that they're like,
what is going on?
I was completely confused by the whole, like, because the start of the story with the whole spy, and then that comes into play at the end.
Yeah.
And then you've got, I won't say what happens, but you've got the son doing something at the end, which I just got no answers for it. Like, but in a good way, you know.
Yeah.
I think
it's the presence of the thing at the front door.
Right.
Mildly.
Yeah.
Like if that's like what Dirk was saying with what she gives birth to, if that's like her evil, this is like Mark's, and the presence of that causes that to happen. That's how I've always looked at it.
That's disturbing for me. What happens to the boy, man?
And you hear the sirens and the bombs.
And that's what I was saying earlier. About you hear stuff that plays into the whole Berlin, East and West thing and everything going on.
Right. Like the apocalypse is right outside the door.
Basically, yeah.
I know the Dead Pit guys don't like this film at all. I would say if they're if they're watching this now or they watch the stream later, to give this another go. I think Uncle Bill might appreciate it years later, because I know it's been a while for them.
I think this is a movie
I don't know about
that's
CK.
essential
I don't know.
to watch multiple times.
Yeah,
I don't know whether CK would like it, but I think Uncle Bill, from what I can gather, his film taste might really get into this if he gives it another go.
Yeah. Let me catch the chat on this, man. Let's see. I paused it again on the wrong thing. Sorry, yo.
That's okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, no problem.
Trying to get back to where I was. Possession, like Infinity Pool, sticks in my head forever.
Infinity Pool was great.
Yeah, I mean, Infinity Pool I liked a lot too. I would put this over it though. I definitely
100%.
Repulsion is great. Yeah, and you could compare and she's in The Tenant, by the way. Isabelle Adjani's in The Tenant.
Okay,
which is Polanski's one of his. I guess it's a sequel to his Apartment trilogy. So
yeah.
Liv Style says the physicality and Possession is great. The subway scene, it's insane, great.
And then later in the movie too, when she's in the apartment with Mark, and the hands, how she's just looking at her hands like this and stuff, dude. She looks fucking insane.
And you see like moments where something literally looks like it's taken over her.
Yeah,
right?
like she's
Yeah,
possessed. Absolutely.
Chris C says the first Omen took from that scene. I think it took from it, but I think it was more of an homage to it.
Yeah, that's what I would say too.
Yeah.
Because I got instant vibes of Possession. That was the first movie I thought of when I saw that ending. And
I thought she did good. That chick doing it. I was like, that was a big homage to Ajani for sure. Wild Wrangler says, Dirk, Possession, what is with the Lovecraft thing? Yeah, that's what we were saying. I think it's a metaphor. I really do think.
That's the creature, yeah.
I don't think that's a literal.
I mean, you could look at it on face value and just take it at face value as just this Lovecraftian tale, but there's definitely so many layers to this movie.
But that whole scene when he walks in and he sees his wife making love to like an octopus, I suppose you could say.
But it's like,
it's crazy.
But then it's like he sees something too. And then it's like he's changing from seeing it. Because everybody that sees it, they all seem like they're fucking repulsed or
or,
you know what I'm saying? Like
it is classic Lovecraft. Like they can't comprehend what they see. Like the mind doesn't accept it. It's like, how can you walk in seeing your wife with that? That's fucking insane.
She
I was
says,
reading as well. She basically did this film. Sorry, Dirk. She
That's
did this
okay.
film because she tried to get into the mainstream,
Yeah.
into Hollywood and all that, but it failed
Yeah.
for her. I think she did a Walter Hill film not long after this, and it kind of, didn't do very well. Go on, Dirk. Sorry, go on.
it's okay. Liv Style says, have you guys ever listened to Isabella Johnny's music? It's quite nice. I never
No, I
had.
never
No,
checked it out.
no, I didn't know
But
she
I
was
would
a
check it out. I would check it out for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's any indication,
She's
or acting
amazing,
talent.
man. Highly underrated. Highly
Oh,
underrated.
yeah.
I think her performance kind of reminds me a little bit of Shelley Duvall in The Shining as well, like just madness and just a crazy.
Honestly, I would.
like, you know.
My opinion, I would say this is even better than Duvall's performance in The Shining.
Yeah, I can't
I
argue
think
with that.
so.
I
Yeah,
can't
I think
argue with that.
I can't argue with that at all. Joseph the hard guy says, I've never seen Hellraiser. Oh wow. Yeah, man. Get on that.
Yeah.
I can see what you mean there, though, when you say it is kind of similar. Like back, I've definitely seen this film.
Oh
No
yeah.
denying that. No denying it.
Liv Style says, Subjective Perspective Collective, you're one sub away from 420. Who's it going to be? I appreciate that. Just subscribe, Dirk. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. I will subscribe.
Nice.
They are their children.
That's another way you can look at it in a theory that I've heard over the years.
Yeah, because it's like, to me, it's their projection, like of what they want the other one to be, of what they want the other one to be.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, guys, I am glad I stopped by and say hello. JT, Derek, Dirk, and friends. I'm glad I hang out with you guys. Have a good night. I should watch this movie. It is something I need to watch. Definitely. I'd say.
Yeah, I highly recommend
Have
it.
a good night, Joe.
Yeah, man.
Have a good night.
Have a good one, brother. Anytime. Okay. The mayor CK is not a fan of Sam Neill, so take what you will from that. Yeah.
Oh, I love Sam Neill.
And Sam Neill, man, he's been in some bangers. You got to think of
In the Mouth of Madness. Yeah,
In the
Event
Mouth of
Horizon.
Madness. Jurassic Park.
Omen 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead Calm. 1989's Dead Calm.
Yeah, love that film.
Shit. Yeah. That's
when
there's
people
another one, Sleeping Dogs. I haven't seen it.
Sleeping Dogs.
From 1977. I need to check it out. I got it over here. But
Bava's on a movie that came out years later? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, that's Rabbit
That's
Dogs.
Rabbit
Yeah.
Dogs. That's what.
That's like
So many
Rabbit Dogs.
fucking movies with
Rabbit Dogs.
Lank dogs.
Yeah. Liv says, I kind of put it comparable to Hereditary with the complicated relationships and how fucked up they both are. Yeah.
Okay.
See that.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
It's on the same kind of level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone that doesn't like Sam Neill. That's like saying you don't like Robin Williams or something.
So CK ain't watching.
Possessions. Oh, man.
Really?
I thought I was gonna have that.
Yeah,
I
can't believe it.
absolutely see it. I can see people, like we said.
Yeah, I can see, man.
Divisive
Like,
movie.
I'm not gonna rule out other people's opinions and shit, you know.
But I wondered now by that comment whether they've just seen it once though. I would go back and give it another go. This is one like Dirk said, you can watch 20.
I say this. If you have a fucking really bad breakup, watch this motherfucking movie.
Yeah.
Tell me how you feel about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, we got to mention as well, Carlo Rambaldi did the special effects.
Oh yeah.
And he wasn't the first guy. Apparently, because he worked on Ridley Scott's Alien, so that's how they got him for this film. But H.R. Geiger was going to do it, and then he kind of had another project come up, and he kind of he said about Rambaldi. Amazing special effects as well.
Can you believe it?
The creature.
Can you believe this movie bombed?
Yeah.
At the box office though, in the U.S. I mean,
I can believe it, knowing that.
I can from the U.S. cut though, because
exactly.
They cut 40 minutes. They added all this weird shit.
Yeah,
like,
you don't know what the hell's going on.
They make Sam Neill's eyes glow when he looks at the creature, and they add little omen sounds and shit in it, and I don't know, man. It just don't work, man. It don't work. I'd say check it out if you're curious. Just check out
Yeah,
the
that's
US
what I
dub.
may do just to check it out after being so used to the originals for so long.
Right, but it man. So it was a 2.4 million budget, and it only made 1.1 million in the US.
Damn.
So
I can see that though. I can see people wouldn't want to sit down for like 2 hours. Some people.
well, I mean,
More
in the
so,
US,
more so nowadays though. But
it was
yeah.
it was under an hour 20 though.
Right,
Yeah,
and like you
that
say,
was
all this
cut.
good stuff was probably cut anyway.
And I mean,
Um,
you cut 10 minutes out of this film, and you're missing shit.
Exactly.
Let alone 40 minutes.
Yeah,
But
man.
that's what's so weird about the film. It's 2 hours, and it just every scene there's something connected to every scene, and
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat. You know, I was just gobsmacked. It just completely blew me away.
Yeah,
Every
I'm
so
glad,
often
man,
you-
because I didn't know
once
how
it
you were going to
takes
react to it.
off,
to be honest.
Yeah,
once
Yeah.
it
every
takes
so often
off,
you will
it takes off.
Right.
Oh man, it's just so good. It's so good.
Liv Style says, "Laugh out loud. This and Midsummer for the perfect breakup double feature." I completely agree.
That would
And
be a
that's a good
great-
call. Damn good call.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I got a little something.
The
for that.
brood, the brood is another favorite relation.
Excuse me. What's going on?
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. What were you saying, man?
That's a great scene.
The
The
Brood.
Brood by Cronenberg.
Yeah.
That would be another top relationship horror for me. The
Yeah.
script to The Brood, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. That's my favorite Cronenberg.
I was
Okay.
going to say, I actually think this is better than anything Cronenberg's done. I know I might be in the minority there, but
I
from
can't.
what I've seen,
I
you know,
can't say that because
I can't say that either.
I'd have to think about it. Like, pretty
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, and
this-
go through his films in my mind.
So we were talking about Jean Roland being avant-garde. This director is very much avant-garde type director.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, I mean, look at this film. Like, this is
I mean,
not this is not your average.
That's another reason why it's this movie's so divisive and always will
Yeah.
be, because it's just not for everyone. It goes so out there, like further than you can imagine that it goes out there. The first time watching this,
right.
I know I keep going back to that subway scene, but do you know what his instructions
Brilliant.
was to Ajani, the director? He basically
fuck the
told
air,
her,
right?
Fuck the air, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Completely
read that.
blows my mind, man.
He told her
And
to
you can
fuck the
see-
air. Yeah. That's what she did, man.
I think that's possibly one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a horror film. I'd put it that high.
It's
I
up
would put
there.
it that. It's top 10, I'd say.
Like she's just unreal.
Like, it's an amazing. I hope we're putting this across really well. I think we're putting it across quite well.
Yeah. We got McKinney call. And he says, "What up, everybody? Let's rock." Yeah,
What's
man.
up, man?
Oh, buddy.
The mayor says, "What Geiger was going to work on Possession?" That really intrigues me. I love Geiger's artwork. I have lots of his art books. Yeah, I could see that definitely, man. Like, that would be killer. Like,
oh yeah.
Possession is great. One of the most sophisticated horror films ever. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by all the positive comments because I thought this would be kind of 50-50, but
It's
it
gotten
seems
a
to be
lot more love over the years. As
Yeah,
each year
yeah.
goes
I don't
on,
think
I
it-
feel like it's more appreciated.
Yeah, I think it's it wasn't of its time for sure.
Oh yeah.
So what's Lorne think of this end? Does he like this? Because I would imagine this would be
I'm
right
sure
up
Lauren
Lorne's
loves
street.
this movie. I haven't
Yeah,
talked to him about it that I remember, but I'm sure he loves it.
Lorne would be great to like talk about this film to see what he like takes out of all the subtext.
Yeah.
Like
The
that
mayor
would be
says,
amazing.
I found a Midsommar shirt on Temu. It's done with a Norwegian black metal style logo. Need that shirt.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Man, nice.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of different avenues you can go with this one, though, man. If you really want
That's
to
what makes it such a fun watch.
yeah. If you want to go crazy with it, you can go as crazy as you want to go with it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's disturbing. There's no other word, man.
I
Yeah,
mentioned
it's
to
touching
Dirk-
a lot of emotional. It's pulling on a lot of emotions.
Oh yeah.
All over.
I mean, anyone that's had
that's some of the
relationship
things that-
worries.
Yeah, I can relate. It's
Can
something
relate, yeah.
that it does so well. This film is just the relatability to it. Like anyone could relate to, like I said, any little thing in this movie, at least a few things.
Oh, absolutely, and the rewatchability as well. I think you could watch this.
What do y'all think about?
Regular.
What do y'all think about the little boy though, man? Because like he's like, he's kind of like just being used by Mark.
Yep.
Against
he
his
kind
wife.
of puts that little smirk on his face when he comes home, and I forget the son's name, but when he finds the son at home alone, and Anna left him.
Yeah,
He has this shit-eating grin on Mark's face that kind of is like, "I got you, bitch." Like kind of like, you left our son home alone now and just left. Like
Got
kind of like
jelly
you
and
said,
shit
like
all
he's
over him.
using him as leverage
Yeah.
against her.
yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, I guess we'll get into the last film.
Do you want to give it a rating?
We're gonna give
I
it
know-
a rating,
I know.
though, right? Well,
I
I don't
go on,
think
I'll let you
JT
go.
does ratings though, right?
Yeah, this one though, since it's a masterpiece, I give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, this
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay. That's easy.
excellent in every way.
All right, Darren, what you got?
It's a 9.5 out of 10. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a 10 out of 10 the next time I see it, because I'm gonna get something else out of it. But first time, like I said, I left it go overnight. I wasn't even sure whether I was going to be positive or negative on it, like the first watch, which is weird for me. But yeah, it sat with me. It's a 9.5, but I'll go all out and say it's a 10 probably. Yeah.
Okay, man. Well, we got triple 10s on this one.
Nice.
So that's a 10 for me for sure, man. I'd give it 11 if I could, and I think I can. So
You can, man.
Yeah,
You can give it whatever rating you want.
it's like nothing you'll ever see.
Anything 10 and above is okay in my book. Sounds good to me.
yeah, man, it's one that always there's still question marks. There's still so much that's got.
Yeah, it leaves it ambiguous enough that you can have conversations like this about it, which is
right.
one thing I love about certain movies like this that are just ambiguous enough. They give enough breadcrumbs, just like a lot of Lynch stuff, enough to give you some answers, but create 1,000 questions too at the same time.
And then the answers you get lead to more questions.
Exactly. It's just a rabbit hole.
So
I was going to say that as well. I think if David Lynch had done this film, it would be a lot more, highly regarded. I think, and Cronenberg as well, because this goes under the radar. It did for me for a long time. I'd always wanted to see it, but I never had that excuse. And I've always heard that it's so far out there and all this. But I'm so glad now. It's probably become one of my personal favorites.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man.
I'm glad too, man. I
man.
wasn't expecting you to give it a 10 for sure, but
yeah, I loved it. Absolutely.
I wasn't sure how it was going to land for you because
I'm like that with you on the last one.
You never know with that movie with Possession.
Right.
Yeah. Because I mentioned about doing the last one. We're going to mention it in a bit, and I'm not sure if Dirk's going to like it. I think he is, but we'll see.
And I'm about to let you have the floor with that.
Yeah.
So Chris says 9.5 out of 10. Impressive, Darren. Yeah,
that's good for me.
give it a 10. You give it a 10 though, right?
I did go back and give it a 10 on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of love for
unanimous.
81. The best horror films always leave me with questions. Yes, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when something's spoon fed to you, I don't think it's as rewatchable.
Yeah, and it's so unrewarding too.
Yeah,
it's so unrewarding.
Yeah. But yeah,
we've all got different insights into it as well, which is good.
Yeah. Which
I think
it's a
it's
testament to how that movie's written and layered and made, and all the metaphor and symbolic stuff in it.
Yeah, to me, I might think different. 5 years from now, I might be like, okay, yeah, that shit was real, and it's all just some weird, crazy Lovecraftian shit.
Yeah, you never know where you'll change, like what viewing will change.
It's definitely
this opinion.
One thing I didn't mention that I needed to mention though before we move on to Frontiers, I think it's definitely going into the abyss. She goes into the abyss within herself.
Yeah,
is what I like, and then he does too. He kind of goes into his own. She created some. Anyway, we'll get off of it now. Sorry, but
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
You can talk this movie forever.
Yeah, man, for sure. But yeah, man, we're gonna get into Frontiers 2007, and
So this is French Extreme at its best for me.
Nice.
And hold on, let me see that. Is that After
it's only
Dark?
the DVD. I need to get that new release out.
Right.
Nice.
The UK one, second side. I
After
think.
Dark Horror Fest, because this is supposed to be one of the 8 films to die for in 2007.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Nice.
this kind of went under the radar for a bit as well, because a lot of those films were pretty hit or miss.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this never gets talked about with the likes of like High Tension. I don't think it's as good as High Tension, but it's not far
No.
away. It's only like a little bit below. But what I would say with this film, the way to describe it is like the French Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that sums it up perfectly.
Well,
But you've got go on.
I just want to say, when you said that, and I started watching it, and I was like, okay, this kind of feels like House of a Thousand Corpses. And then
Hostel also.
Hostel.
was another
Big
one,
Hostel vibes in this.
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
big time. And then it starts feeling like TCM too. And then, yeah, but sorry, man, I didn't mean to cut you
That's
off.
no. So you've got a great performance. Like you've got Karina Testa. She plays Yasmin. Amazing performance. One of the best kind of, I know don't want to give too much away, but one of the best kind of final girls you'll see, I think. So you've got basically the opening. There's a lot of like political unrest in Paris. You've got like the far right and all the kind of what would you say, kind of just mayhem going on everywhere. There's people are doing robberies, and then we kind of hone in on this gang. They've just done this robbery. It's one female and 4 other guys, I think it is.
And they're all like Arabian.
Yeah.
They're Muslim.
yeah.
Muslim. Yeah.
Because there's a big thing about the Jewish like coming into it a little bit later on, but
right.
Yeah, like there's the presidential candidate right at the beginning. There's like a very far right candidate that's going up for re-election. So there's civil unrest and stuff. Yeah.
And that comes into play in the end as well. But so you've got, they kind of have this shootout, early on. Yasmin's brother's with this gang and he gets shot, and then they take him to hospital, and there's a whole bit where she escapes. But they go to this really creepy like kind of inn where they stumble across this weird family. The 2 guys go on early, because they've got the money and they're trying to trying to break up a little bit so they don't make it too obvious. It's kind of near the border, I think, of France. And then it just descends into, like you say, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just crazy, some of the shit that goes on in this. There's frigging just... Because early on, you've got the 2 boys that get seduced by the 2 females of this family. And then they kind of bring more members of the family into it as it goes.
That part of it reminds me of Hostel, but then the lead blonde reminds me of kind of like Sherry Moon kind of character, from Baby out of House of a Thousand. That's why I even mentioned it,
The Hostel thing is definitely up there as well, where the guy gets his fingers shot off in one scene as well.
And
and the Achilles tendon, which great. The effects are fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh god, absolutely.
It's bloody as shit. Really.
So basically, Yasmin's pregnant as well. She's kind of had a breakup with her boyfriend. He's part of the gang too. And yeah, there's some great stuff. Like early on, there's a scene where if you're claustrophobic, you will hate this scene, because they're in that tunnel, and then they look round, and then they see like these eyes staring at them, and we don't know at that time what they are, but then we find out later on in the film why that is, and it's fucking blows my mind.
And that kind of remind me, that part of it too, it's like they've taken things from different films. Like, so that part of it reminded me of
The Descent,
the people under the stairs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I can see that too. And The Descent, I could see some aspects of that too.
Yeah.
It's
several films. I think it's kind of, I ain't gonna say ripped off, but it's definitely took
some inspiration for sure from a lot of the movies we mentioned.
This come out the same year as them, and I think was Inside the same year. I think Inside was maybe a year later.
Inside was 2007 too.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you've got 3 bangers there straight away. The whole thing with the family as well, like each character in the family just get more and more kind of weird as it goes. I don't know how far you want to go with the spoilers in this. With the,
It's up to you. I'm gonna leave it up to you.
I might as well. If people don't want to hear
You want to
just
spoil it?
tune out. Yeah, I would say.
All right. Well, let me
I'll
do
go
the
either
thing
way.
and do the thing. You know what I'm talking about?
As long as you're all happy with that.
No, I'm
Yeah,
fine. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
good with
fine.
They smell like a pile of bullshit!
Well, nobody can complain about getting the movie spoiled now.
So yeah, two of the gang, the two boys who turn up first, like they get killed off pretty early on,
Yeah.
But what Jasmine sees when they follow her and her ex-boyfriend, they follow on, and they start to see clues in what's going on with the pictures. There's a Nazi picture of this guy in the photo. There's like discarded mobile phones and shit, and she's kind of like putting like the pieces of the puzzle together. But the actual family, the head of this family is basically a Nazi from World War II. I don't know how high ranked he was. Does it ever mention? I don't think it ever mentions.
I don't know if they
ranked he was.
do, but
I
yeah,
don't know if it
like
does, but I know he.
family.
Yeah, I don't know if it does, but I know he starts talking about back in the old days in the diamond mines in Africa and shit like that. It's like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
I presume by the photo that he's kind of high, maybe one of the high-ranked officers in the SS.
He is legit, like kind of frightening motherfucker, man.
Oh yeah,
he is superb.
He did a great job in that role.
I mean, all of them though in the cast.
They all do great. Yeah, all the acting's great in this.
But he's a creepy motherfucker, man. He's like, so like I said earlier, there's something about German people when they're portrayed, like that as well. But some of the stuff that happens in this film is just crazy in terms of gore and violence. You've got fingers being blown off. You've got people being burnt alive, like basically.
That looks crazy. Yeah. That's
that is fucking nuts, man.
In the scene, there is a good scene where it's got the wannabe Leatherface guy.
Yeah.
He's got the two people chained up and he's like dragging their ass. That's a pretty damn good shot. I love that shit.
There's a lot of cool visual stuff in this movie. Visual imagery that's disturbing as shit.
Yeah, for sure.
They get chained up, don't they? The two of them get chained up as well. And when she breaks free, you've got them all in like a herd of like pigs, like in a pig style.
Yeah, the pigs everywhere.
And I'm keeping. I was thinking, like, is them pigs gonna eat them?
That's what I was thinking, because I haven't seen this movie. We were saying backstage. I don't know if this was first watch. This is the first watch for you, Dirk, right?
This is the first time I've seen it. Yeah,
Darren, you've seen it though. Right?
I've seen the other two.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
I haven't seen this in forever, so it was basically like mostly a blind watch. But yeah, all the pig stuff, I thought they were definitely going to be feeding some of these fuckers to the pigs.
I thought body parts were going to be like a hostel. Like they were just going to feed body parts to the pigs. I'm glad in a way they didn't go down that route though, because I think this is more than like a hostel clone.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not just a hostel like clone.
No, I mean there is a legit story, a better fleshed out story. I think the acting's a lot better.
I'd agree.
I think everybody does a great job acting, but I've been hearing a lot of people fucking hates this movie, and I'm just like, what the hell?
I don't get that, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's definitely the most less talked about and less known and seen compared to like those bigger French Extremity 2000 films mentioned earlier, like Inside, Martyrs, High Tension, Irreversible, like Darren brought up also. We throw that in there. You don't hear Frontiers as much, and it's definitely one underseen by people.
I think that's a shame as well. But I gotta mention the Achilles tendon scene as well.
It's so brutal, dude.
Man, that is
because it's not like Hostel, like with that quick Achilles, because that also reminded me of Hostel too.
Maybe the way they do
it is so.
Maybe I'm fucked up or something, man. But when I was watching that, maybe I'm fucking desensitized by now. But it didn't bother me as much.
Oh man, I had to kind of.
It used to bother me, that kind of shit. But I've seen
Yeah.
so much shit like that now. I'm just like,
It's the fucking noise as well that it makes.
The only
Man.
things that get me are fingernail stuff. Like
Yeah.
in Texas Chainsaw 3, when he's being carried down the stairs, his nails break off against the wall. And like Ringu with Sadako coming up the well. Anything with nails, that shit gets me. Mostly anything else doesn't really, but for some reason the Achilles tendon, just because once
it used to
get that cut, you can't walk ever again. So
It
even
used
if
to
they got
bother me.
out of it,
Yeah.
it used to bother me, but I've seen it in several films, and
yeah,
I guess that's what it is. But we got is that Hoblone?
yes.
Does anyone understand Natter's Grave? Even the remake and exact copy never gave any clue.
I'm not sure for that one.
No,
I don't know.
I never saw it.
Yep, the great ones stick with you, Chrissy said.
Oh,
Hobble Alone. I mentioned Nature's Grave.
Nature's Grave. No, I've not heard of that.
yeah,
I'm not sure on that one. And then we got James Earl Cash Jr. Whoa,
Cash
CK and UB guys look different.
He
Saying
said
a lot.
must be his heroin.
Must be my heroin.
That's funny.
I misspelled. Never understood Nature's Grave, nor the remake. Did anyone get it? I don't know that film at all.
No.
Mechanic Kong, pigs will eat everything, including the bone. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
I mean,
Sorry,
you
I
got that gnarly
just wanna
scene
keep-
in Hannibal with
Oh
Gary
yeah,
Oldman getting
that's
pushed
what I
into
always
the
think
boar
of
pit.
when I think of.
Yeah, me too. That's like the go-to pig eating scene, or boars, whatever the hell they are on that.
So with the family as well now, so you've got the head guy is this German XSS guy, and they want to carry on the bloodline. So
Yeah.
because at first they don't realize that Jasmine's like pregnant, and then when they find out, you've got the whole thing with Eva, like kind
I
of
like her
befriends her.
character.
Yeah, man, she saves the character obviously.
Yeah.
But I won't give everything away, but there's a thing she does towards the end of the film, which is kind of like heroic as well. This Eva character.
Mhm.
But man, yeah, I hadn't seen it for a while, man, but I always known how much I love this film, and I just know that Dirk was gonna love it. I kind of apprehensive a little bit, but I thinking about it, I'm glad he did. JT, I think I've heard JT mention it as well on one of
Yeah, this is definitely was a needed rewatch because, as
Yeah,
I said,
I
it's
mean-
been forever. But I mean, but if talking all those other French films around the same era, I would probably put Martyrs and Inside at the top.
Okay.
Then I'd probably put this, then High Tension. I know you praised High Tension earlier, Darren. I have a weird relationship with that movie. The first time I saw it, I thought it was excellent. I still think it's mostly excellent, but the twist is fucking ridiculous. It doesn't make sense on rewatches.
Yeah, a lot of people say that because we covered it fairly recently.
Yeah, I've heard it.
There's a little plot hole, but in it.
Yeah, but the kills and everything in that movie are fucking insane.
Yeah, there's a couple of plot holes for sure. Yeah.
Them is another good one.
Them is good.
I mentioned
Them is another one I haven't seen in years too. That's another one I have to rewatch.
That's a great film.
This
one is not quite as good. Sorry, Dirk. I was going to say, go on.
No, I was going to say, like, for me, out of the French Extremity, one that always just I think about all the time. It's like, I mean, I can't watch it all the time. It's a hard fucking watch. Is that they're irreversible? It's just one that I don't know, man.
I mean, you get a 10-minute rape scene
that
with
scene
Monica
is,
Bellucci. I mean, that
absolutely
it's hard to watch movies like that with that type of content in it.
Yeah,
often, like you said, even though they do stick with you and you can recognize them as masterpiece films or excellent films and the way they're made and shot and everything, which all of Gaspar Noé's films I think are fucking just excellently shot.
But
excellent
the good thing about that film, though, at least it has a happy ending.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. In a way.
In
a way.
Talking about the ending to this one, though, it's kind of ambiguous as well because we don't know what happens really.
Yeah,
I was wondering.
Leave your ass hanging. That's one thing that aggravated me a little bit with this kind of a film, with this kind of story. It kind of just
you've got the whole French president as well being announced on the radio when she's driving off.
That he won.
But is she getting arrested
Yeah,
what she
that's
This
did
is
what I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is she getting arrested for all her crimes, or was it like? Well, it was obviously self-defense, but yeah,
Yeah.
it keeps it open, which I like.
Unless do they know
Um,
about the robbery, the initial robbery, and that's what they're
exactly.
arresting
Yeah.
her for?
So
You know, like they don't make any of that clear.
yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a Texas Chainsaw clone, but it's in a good way. It's one of the best, I think.
I think
Certainly,
I think
it's most modern. You know.
it's a mixed mash of several though. Like I
Yeah.
definitely see a lot of TCM in it. I'd say
PCM,
probably
Hostel would I think would be the two
House of a
biggest
Thousand,
ones. And yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
House of a
yeah.
Thousand Corpses. Those three I would
Descent.
say are the biggest ones that come to mind. The Descent I would see mostly like with the blood when
Just-
she's just drenched in the blood in certain shots
Just
of her.
yeah,
That looks very Descent-ish.
they do some oversaturation of the blood,
Yeah.
but I dig it. I dig it.
I
like the
thought
look.
it all looks good.
Yeah.
The
Have
Because
you
I've
guys
seen-
seen? Have you
Saw
guys
Kill
seen
looks
his
great.
other film, Divide?
Divide?
Yeah. So he made a French
Sounds
film in
familiar.
2011.
I know he made
Um,
another film called Hitman 2007.
Yeah, Hitman.
Right.
Have you
I
seen
don't
that
think
one?
I saw I don't think I saw
No.
the other one that you mentioned there.
Okay.
Divide is supposed to be really
Divide.
good. I'm kind of interested in seeing that now.
I haven't seen that one.
But she wasn't in a lot. Man, I thought she would have gone on, Karina Testa. I thought she would have gone on to like
She's
an
good.
amazing career.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
She's
very
pretty
good.
famous in France, and a lot of her, but if you look through her filmography, it's all French. But she did a
Right,
film in 2009 called Shadow. It's kind of like an Italian. I have got it, but I don't know too much about it. I think it's kind of got some kind of serial killer or something like that, which I'm interested in now. But yeah, everyone, even right through the cast, even the kind of the brothers and that is really weird. I think they all do a great job, man. How would you rate this though? I know, like, I'm thinking of Dirk. I don't think it's going to be as high as me, but we'll see. So
I'll give this one probably a 6.5 out of 10.
oh
for me.
shit, I wasn't expecting that. I thought he was gonna go 8 or 9, man.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
no.
say if I had to rank it, I'd probably 7 sounds about right.
Yeah.
7 for
It's-
me
Oh
sounds about
shit.
right.
I just
think I
don't
might
know
do
how
it.
rewatchable it would be for me, Like once I know what's gonna happen, like with
I
this
think
one.
it's rewatchable because of all the fucking shit that goes on. For
I think
me,
it's
it's gonna be
rewatchable for me, yeah. But
Yeah,
it would be maybe like a every 5-year type watch, like
Oh,
not like
shit, man.
not
I-
like too.
Yeah, I
often.
don't think I could watch it every year. Like I don't know.
You never
Right.
know. I mean,
Like if I've
I've
seen it
never
on the
watched-
TV, I would
Yeah,
watch,
right.
I would watch it probably if it's on.
I'd
Yeah.
probably watch it once a year, maybe once every 2 years.
Okay.
For me, it's a high 9, 8 to 10. I just think it's one of those films that's just gone under the radar.
I don't understand the hate though. of it.
No,
I
Like
never
I've
really
seen,
heard a
like
lot
I
of
was
hate
talking to,
for it.
I was talking to Brian Goes Blue earlier, and he fucking hates it. He fucking,
Really?
and he usually don't hate movies like that. He
did he
bought
say why he hates it though?
he bought that Second Sight release
Yeah,
and said,
yeah.
and he said he sold it immediately.
Really?
He said
but
it
did
didn't
he-
grab him. He said it
didn't
didn't
grab
grab him. It for whatever reason he didn't like it. So
I mean, you've got early doors.
I
like,
do
you've got
get-
stuff with the criminals. I think it grabs you straight away. It did me,
yeah,
and it
Oh,
keeps you on all the stuff at the end with the family and all that. It just keeps you. For
One
me,
thing-
it just kept me going. Like every scene,
I
was
think
not bored or-
originality for me is the thing that hurts it for me. Like
Oh, it's not original. I'll give you that.
right, the
Yeah.
originality's like always key with me for one thing, and then
There's a couple
also-
of things though original in it though. With what happens with the Eva character,
Oh,
there
yeah,
is.
sure.
It's not
I
just a
like
complete clone.
her whole arc. Eva, I really liked her character and everything.
She's
she
kind
did.
of
kind of like
the
if you think
hero-
about
the
it though,
heroine of the film.
now that you say that though, she kind of reminds me of it reminds me of the chick from Hills Have Eyes, right?
I was going to say that
Okay, yeah.
there's
that-
some
yep,
kind of
I can see
there
that.
is like the Hills Have Eyes.
Right.
Definitely,
It's
is a
like
little
the
bit of an influence. In
Greatest
this,
hit plots from different movies. I don't know. I think that's the
I
only
can-
thing
I
that
see where
bothers
you're
me
coming
about it
from.
a little bit. But
But the criminals and all that is I've not seen that done before. Not that I can think of.
I thought it was
Yeah.
interesting that two of these movies had a criminal or criminals seeking
Yeah.
refuge somewhere else.
Yeah,
this
yeah, I didn't
French,
think
like,
of that. Yeah,
fascination in this.
when did the Purge come out?
What was it?
I want to
I'm
say
not sure. I'm not a
2011,
fan of that
something
whole
like that.
series.
After?
Yeah,
Probably.
after like 3 or
I'm
4
not a
years
fan of the
after.
Purge films either, but I had
Yeah.
like now thinking on it, it's kind of had that Purge element, like everything's in chaos and shit in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it's always going on in this film. It's an apocalypse type, setting, and
I mean, you see inside, you see some turmoil and stuff that's going on in France there also in that film.
Yeah.
There's it goes back and forth every now and then to like the TV broken, the news showing the unrest going on in like the area around whatever her name is and inside. So I don't know if there was stuff going on in those years in 2000s in France, and I just don't know, and that's why there's a lot. It seems like a lot of these French movies have some political stuff
They
thrown
do.
in there.
yeah, they got some political things for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of stopped though, didn't it? Like late 2010s, this French Extreme, and I don't know why, because they should bring these films back and like updated versions of whatever stories. But yeah, it's kind of sad when you realize there's only 6 or 7 really, and they're all good as well. And I can't really think of too many. There's obviously more, but I can't think of, certainly not
like
well
the
known.
biggest known, the biggest well-known ones.
Yeah, what a movement, man! Such a great movement.
Oh yeah, and I think it also plays into a lot of horror fans, at least for me, and I know a lot of others, that you hit a point, especially if you start watching horror movies at a young age, you hit that age and that point where you just seek out the most disturbing movies there are. Like a Serbian film, and Salo, and then Irreversible. A lot of these movies are on that list also. So I think a lot of people, when they get into that phase with horror watching of wanting to see the real, like, controversial, really extreme films, I mean, most of these French films are on that list. And I think that's how a lot of people get exposed to these movies.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if Brian Goes Blue likes like the Hostel films then. I would imagine in Saw, and he's probably a fan of them. That kind of blows my mind when he says...
It kind of is like Saw in a way too.
Yeah. It blows my mind when someone says that they didn't.
But I've heard it.
I'm not expecting them to love it, but I thought, I didn't think
I've been hearing it quite a bit from people though. I don't know why. I don't hate it. I don't.
That's why I say I'd love to have a conversation with someone, and like I'm not right and they're not wrong, or they're not, So, but I just like to sit down with someone and talk it through. Someone.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, your opinion is the best opinion. So.
Yeah. Look at it like that, yeah.
But yeah, man. Hell yeah. Was there anything else you want to touch on the Frontiers?
Not really. No, just a great rewatch. Brutal film. I forgot how brutal it gets, actually, as it gets into like the third act. Like I was starting to like have things trigger my memory. I think I remember where this goes or this scene happens and stuff, and then it would just go even further than I remembered. And I would say, hey, because I like the first 2 acts of this movie, I was saying to myself, I wonder what I think is the more gory French film, if it would be Inside or Martyrs or High Tension or this. I feel like this one was a little more tame until it got into the third act. Then that's where I said, oh, shit, that's right. Like, this movie gets real fucking out there, real crazy and gory. So,
it
does have
blast of a watch all the way around.
It has some believable, like, solid acting, though, in the emotional scenes. I think it's really...
There's like you say, there's nothing far-fetched about what happens to the characters as well. Everything's logical. The way, I think everything's
that's what
logical.
also makes it effective, too, is that it could happen. Like, this shit could happen.
Yeah. You got the Riverman in here. He says,
up,
hey, Dirk, how goes it?
What's up, man?
How's it going, man?
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, we're just talking these French films, man. We're traveling Europe. So, but yeah, man, this has been great, man. I appreciate you coming on, JT, man.
No, thanks so much for the invite, guys. This is great.
You got anything coming up on your channel, man?
It's been Slasher September all month, so just more slasher movies coming out soon. Reviews on those. Talked to Charles Alexander, Full Moon. I'm going to be having him on probably in October, and Charles Band will be probably coming back on in October also. for the release of their second movie in the pulp noir line they just started. This is Death Streamer, this next one, about this guy who kidnaps people and streams their deaths.
Oh, wow.
So interesting. And I really liked Quadrant, the first movie in their this is like a new production line of theirs, like an offshoot of Full Moon that goes more in the pulp noir direction. But Quadrant was very good.
That's kind of a big name to have on as well, Charles Band in the horror. It's not my thing, but in the horror community,
I had him on last month. It was such a great
mind,
conversation
it's awesome.
with him.
It's awesome.
Yeah, great guy. And
you gotta get him on to talk about. Get him on to talk about. Or you probably already have Tourist Trap, huh?
It came up. It was so hard, man, talking with him because he had like only 20 minutes, 25 he gave and stuff like that. Because he was going around promoting this movie, but every time another movie would come up, I'd be like, shit, man, and looking at the time because I got 10 questions just for that movie alone. So I mean, Chris Alexander was the one who asked me. He's like, Charlie says another movie coming out on October 11th. You want to have him back on? I'm saying to myself, what type of stupid fucking question is that? Like, of course, I'm interested in having him back on.
That's awesome.
So that'll be that. Also, Jeffrey Reddick, the creator of Final Destination. I've been talking to him, looking like maybe October also for him. So some cool stuff.
Cool. That's another cool guy. Yeah.
And I think this week, man, we're gonna kind of take a little break for just a little bit, but I'll probably put out like
for October, right? We got our month here.
Yeah, I got a haul video. I think I'll do.
We are still doing the Lamberto Bava show though. That's going to be probably be the next one on Subjective Perspective Collective.
Yeah.
Do you want to mention the next one on Dead Pit that we're going to do?
Yeah, we're going to be doing the next one. Will be October 5th, the next Euro Crypt, and we're going to have CK on. And we're going to be talking about 3 Spanish horror films. Nice. Do you remember them, Darren?
Anguish was one.
Yeah.
Was Faceless another? I know we talked about it.
Faceless and the
Faceless I've seen. I don't remember.
And I think a Paul Naschy film was it?
The other? Damn.
One of the werewolf ones, I think.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, Spanish movies and like Mexican horror and stuff are ones that I gotta dive into a lot more.
Right.
I'm definitely haven't seen a lot of Mexican horror films, Spanish horror films. Well, Spanish different, but like Mexican particularly, even though no one said Mexican, but I threw it in there.
You've seen Bloody Moon though, yeah? I take.
Yeah, I just did a 20-minute deep dive on it actually recently.
Yeah.
And that was a great rewatch. The kills in that are great.
Oh, that's just a fun, like Friday the 13th style, like rip off, really. But
it's very Pieces-esque in some ways.
Yeah. I need to get into more Jess Franco, to be honest, but
it's the only film that I've seen of his.
I guess if you want to hang backstage for a minute, man.
Sure.
When we get off here. But man, thanks everybody in the chat.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Going, man. We had a steady about 30 people in here for the most part, man. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out.
Yeah. No, I just want to thank JT again, man. It's been great. Like,
definitely.
Thank you.
It's been long overdue as well.
So, we're gonna have to do some more. And
I was gonna say you're welcome back anytime. You know.
No,
and I know you said
you guys too.
You said tomorrow you're gonna do something.
Yeah, I'm doing Terrifier 2 tomorrow. At 7:00 Eastern Standard. If you guys want to hop on at any point,
yeah,
just let me know.
Yeah, but yeah, man, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks again, everybody.
Yeah, guys, thank you.
And I just got a couple of little things. Just to let everybody know, there's a lot of victims out there, that play the victim, but just remember,
because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
I just gotta let y'all know that, man. So
that's right.
Yeah. And hold on, I'm fucking up over here, y'all. So hold on just a second.
I mean, if you know, you know.
Yeah. But y'all have a good one, man.